nerds, welcome back to Hot Nerd Network, the ultimate destination where we celebrate diverse personalities from the real world to the fantasy one. I'm Hot Nerd Syd, your guide through the captivating worlds of fandom, and I'm joined back again with a Survivor enthusiast, our Survivor resident expert, Hot Nerd Krystal. Say what's up, Krystal.
I'm just trying to be the fish box to your Rob. So,
The pop.
gotta get my stripes. Gotta get my stripes.
We both do know to live up to the Pow Fathers essence. We are Rahap fans
Very
all the
much.
way over here. So
Shout out, shout out.
um, shout out to Rob has a podcast, but we're gonna try to do them justice in today's review of the second episode of Survivor 45. You ready to jump in, Crystal?
I'm very ready. Let's hit it.
Okay. So we start this episode like we always do with the aftermath of tribal council. And in this particular aftermath, the first of this season with the Lulu losers, I'm sorry, they gotta keep the name for
I
now.
told you they were gonna. I told you the first scene was gonna be they're gonna come back, and Sabaya and Kayla was gonna be pissed at Emily. First scene, told you.
Ooh.
First
No,
scene,
and
I knew it. I knew it.
they did, and like Sabaya was not letting it up. What are your thoughts about Sabaya and Emily's back and forth?
I get Sabaya. Very much understand it. Emily started wilding. However, Sabaya was getting emotional. That's not a good look for
Yes.
her. She was getting emotional very quickly. Not a good look. And then Caleb, this is where Caleb is giving himself some edge. He start trying to bring Emily in. He
Yes.
like, I know you talk trash about me, da 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 da. She on the outside, no friends. He like, let me bring her in.
Yes.
Now it might be Sabaya that's first merge vote. If Lulu keep losing, Sabaya might be the one that go instead of Caleb since he the one making inroads with the one outsider. So
Absolutely. And we'll get to this, but you can see that at the end of the episode or near the end of the episode, Spy was really feeling herself as like the leader. And it's like
soon as
Survivor
you think
you Survivor 101, as soon as you think you're the leader of the tribe,
it,
you're out the door. And Survivor 201, don't alienate anyone until they're out the game. Like you don't alienate any of your options because then you push yourself towards an option that you have to pick. And so to your point, I love how Caleb did that and like saw that as an opportunity to pick up somebody who was on the outs and would stay loyal to him throughout the game. So
yeah, it's somebody got to get it in check. I get it. I feel her. Like if I were her on that tribe, I see how she gets there, but you
yes.
can't ever let it get to your head. That's where people get messed up.
Yeah.
You
You
must
can't.
remain. Anything can happen. Humble. Like even if you think you got it, you can't say it. You can't like. She not playing it cool, and that's gonna be a problem.
It is. It is. It's I think that's like I love how they don't get all types of super fans and you can tell everybody here is at least familiar with the show, but
Hmm.
if you go deep in, you these are some really, basic level survivor strategy pieces that again neither of us are out there. It's hard to really say like when emotions come up like if I'll be able to like really keep it together at that point in time, but I would hope that I would tell myself like, Sydney, don't get mad at this girl, instead bring her in,
I
okay?
was gonna
Like
say, do you know how Sabaya like did she apply? Was she recruited? Because she does seem the most out of everyone I can remember, she does seem the most different or like
yeah,
she's a truck driver,
yeah,
right? We don't have a lot of people that usually do like she was a former Marine. I guess we have vets, but like
yeah,
she doesn't seem like a super fan to me. Maybe she is, but I wonder like how she got into it because she seems like a regular person, which
yeah.
Survivor lately has been a whole bunch of super fans. So I wonder.
I appreciate the mix because this gives Sabaya gives me one just love that she's a black woman because I don't think that we get that sort of archetype of kind of fish out of water regular Joe have been in the military and a truck driver. Usually that's a white man that's kind of old.
Mm-hmm.
But now
Mm-hmm.
we have her. She's a black woman, and so but she's still a fish out of water. She still is more of a little bit of a traditionalist, still in her early stages of survivor strategy. I do hope she picks it up, but I don't know where they would have recruited her from. I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, I would like to assume that everybody, they're not in the recruitment phase anymore, but
Right.
you never know. You never know. So something to definitely note. I'm about to note that down.
Yeah,
Just
I just wonder
who
because she does seem like she just seemed different than everybody else. Which, given, I mean, she's black, she's woman. I am assuming she's queer, so already very different archetype than everybody else out there for real. But
absolutely,
I don't know.
absolutely. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it definitely different from Emily, but I loved how we were proven right in our last conversation when it came to Sabaya and Caleb. Yes, they're close, but it's not like they're like the each other's
Yeah,
number one
no,
ally
nope.
because it was very interesting to see. We'll just get to this point. We'll get back to red and blue, but I loved at the beginning of the episode that Sabaya and Brandon did their whole like running off into the woods together. Like that seems like Sabaya's number one doing that type of stuff together and not really including Caleb and Sean in the initial points of that, kind of looping them in later. Whereas Caleb is making inroads with Emily. Like I think Emily was so quick to just push them together unconsciously because to me, I feel like she was unconscious to do it
But
because
that might, because she did that last time, that might have been why they both were like, okay, we got to get other people so
true.
we can be seen with others, so it doesn't look like we're stuck together.
Yes.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look, Caleb made the smarter pick
Yes.
because
Oh yeah.
but Caleb made the smarter pick than Sabaya did. I get what Sabaya was doing because she wants Emily out, so she got to grab, but Caleb ended up picking right, and so it should be interesting to see this path as they keep going.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. And getting into that particular point though of Sabaya's pick, how'd you feel about her? Like, how do you let's zoom out from here. How
Yeah.
do you because we're gonna see this a couple times this episode where people are like just telling all of their secrets and what they're doing. This seems like this is so resonant of the new era.
I
What
don't get how these are super. Brandon being a super fan and coming back, and I know we talked a lot about Brandon in the first recap. It's probably gonna be a lot of Brandon this one, and hopefully no
yeah.
more because so sorry to spoil it. Spoiler alert: Brandon goes home.
He goes,
The
oh,
correct decision. Correct
yeah.
decision on all fronts.
Yes. They couldn't make any other. Yes.
Before we get there, okay, he's a super fan. So you've told me. I still haven't looked up anything about the cast outside of what I see. Supposedly he's a super fan. I'm assuming he's like probably big in Reddit, all these things.
Oh yeah.
He can't do physical challenges.
No.
He's no use at camp life at the shelter.
No.
He can't do puzzles, even though he said he was the puzzle guy. We've seen him on two occasions in this one episode be bad at puzzles to the point that he loses a vote.
It's crazy.
Gains no advantage that he really could have used. Makes his tribe lose another ability.
It was crazy. And at the and he denied taking the beware advantage. It could have been his. It's like you've got to do something.
But
Something.
that was smart of him. But see, this is the problem. I actually think giving the beware advantage to Sabaya was kind of smart. Although they found the stuff quick,
They did.
the people found stuff quick. So Sabaya got to the end faster than I think we've seen the other tribes. But
Oh,
then they ain't got no damn fire. So jokes on them.
it's so funny, which is still so funny. When we're jumping all around, but I literally was like, candle plus no vote plus no flint equals
Literally. She
hilarious.
should have lit it at the damn tribal. She should have stole fire out at tribal. Promise you. Tell everybody. Y'all telling everything anyway. Unlike the idol, and everybody now know you got it.
Pretty fucking much. No, it's so funny
But
to
Brandon,
me.
I think Brandon was right in not doing the beware advantage. Where he was
Fair.
wrong was playing that damn challenge that he effed around and lost.
Yeah, that
You
was
can't do
crazy.
puzzle, Brandon. How you
It
can't do
was crazy. Like I was just like, no, 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 no,
and he,
no.
he, he don't got no get up and go. He was doing that puzzle, the time running out. He looking shit like you need to get it in gear. Then at the immunity challenge, he had
Yeah,
to go. There was no other choice, but Brandon had to go.
he said it himself. He said it himself that like he gets performance anxiety. I was like, this is
That's
self awareness.
beyond. It's beyond. You've been out there 3 days, 2 days. I don't know. Also, like if you're such a super fan, you have been preparing for this, I assume, for a long period of time.
Yeah, but in what
What
ways?
exactly? That was my question. What was the prep? What was the prep? Don't they go through psychological testing, physical? Like, don't they go through a bunch of tests before they go out there?
That's what I was thinking in the first episode.
How
I
did
was like,
he get
"How
there?
did he get cleared physically?" Because I know that they get flown out to LA and they run like they're with other people and other people who just don't simply get picked up that time. But it's like a bunch of people who are like in the final rounds of being picked for Survivor. And I know that they run these tests on them, bro. So
I
it's
don't
like,
even know how he got cleared mentally. If all of these physical things that's happening is because of like anxiety, XYZ, a mental thing, I don't even get how he got past the psychological testing. What
I
was his IQ? I'm not saying I'm not insulting his intelligence, but like, what were the IQ tests like? Like, I have so many questions on Brandon because none of it adds up. Does he have a lot of followers on TikTok? Like, somebody
no.
answer.
He's
What's going on?
relatively he's not like super fan from I'm acting like I really know, but from what I've heard,
Uh
that
huh.
he's not super fan status like he's doing things like this and he's well known in the fan community. More so he like shows up to a lot of events, a lot of survivors know him. Like I think he's very much involved in the rehab community because
Mm,
that's touts him so much. And I think that like from a strategic perspective, like if like let's say you were playing like a video game of
mhm,
Survivor, I
mhm.
think he would most likely excel in that regard because it's something that could be an isolated
Yep, without
situation,
real people.
without and like he would but and I agreed with him in the sense that I think he had a very strong social game, but the beginning parts of the game are so much more about I mean, it's about social, but you have got to come with something else to survive, like to legit survive to merge, you
I
know?
couldn't even get to the social. I know that if I was on his tribe, I would have nothing for him socially because I would not be able to get past the uselessness when it comes to surviving. I'm so sorry. Like, yes, this is a game, and that's like, I hate to bring Big Brother back, but that's why I think like
Yes.
people do go home for stuff like this in Survivor rather than in Big Brother because
Yeah,
like in Big Brother, you not like I have nowhere nice to sleep tonight. I ain't got no food. I'm cold. It's wet. Like you have to go if you cannot pull your own weight, and it's just like it was incredible to watch. Like I'm really glad that we got to see a moment where survival is really the reason somebody went home. Like yeah, you can't win challenges, but it's all of it together. It's just like if you can't win challenges, you're not gonna survive. They don't have no flint. They
that's
don't
right.
have anything.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. And it's like Sean was waking up to that fact because Sean seems like a nice
He was
enough guy.
trying. Yep, yep.
He seems like a
He
nice
was
enough
the one I was like, the boy got to go. Once he saw he couldn't do the puzzles, he was like, he has to go. And
guy.
I'm with Sean. I stand with Sean.
I wish no, honestly, it's like, what are you bringing? So, yes, we understand why Brandon went out, and for any super fan out there, be more of a Carson than a Brandon, okay? Because Carson, what was Carson doing? Carson was out there 3D printing. He was
Practice.
most super fans are out there trying to
Carson gained weight.
like,
Remember, he said he was gaining weight. He was doing CrossFit. Like,
learning how
get
to
a
stretch out.
psychiatrist, get a therapist before you go out there if you got anxiety or something. Like, set yourself up for the best possible. I don't know. I just
Can't
don't
just
know.
be it can't just be passion and hope and will. And I say that as somebody who like has so much passion, hope, and will for Survivor, but has not done an ounce of training for it. Me and Chris were just talking about this earlier. She just came from the gym. I did not do nothing. Okay, no sort of gym work. But I know that if I got onto this show, like, yeah, that would be go mode because that's for right now, especially when you are not the only super fan out there, you can't just run the same circles strategically around people as you used to be before, not being so physical. Now everybody has a little bit of finesse to their game
Mhm.
and they're preparing physically. They're preparing physically and mentally. And it just he wasn't doing either.
And we saw Jeff say, so remember, like in the new era, the same person would have been able to sit out like what we would have seen every episode
Yes.
because of the way their challenges go. But now Jeff is saying that nobody can like everybody got to so like if you sat out, no matter what happens, somebody else has to sit out in this next thing. And I guess maybe
Absolutely.
the way it went, you used to because remember Claire, I think from last season, she sat out literally every challenge.
Yes.
You can't do that anymore. So
You
they even if they could have won something and Brandon could have always or could have sat out for a challenge, he would have to
yes.
play again. Like it no, it just bad, bad, bad.
I remember that also with what who was Erica's season. She was an older
Heather. Heather, the yeah.
Heather was another one who because the blue tribe was always winning. She was
Mhm.
able to sit out, and they were always able to continue to win. So I'm like, I'm just happy that this has been a rule that's been instated, because it's like I feel like this should have already been there. Like I, I'm not mad at it because
I
then
very much
we
agree.
really
I very much agree too. Everybody should have to compete. Everybody should have to compete.
everybody should have to compete. It's Survivor. You have to survive. You can't just get lucky that you got like the strongest teammates on your tribe and now you're able to go forth and win. No, you've got to compete too. So
Mhm.
either way,
Okay, I
before
guess we should talk about another tribe, right? But
yes,
the
let's
Lulu
go
always got something going on. Lulu always
ahead.
got that.
We'll see if that keeps going, them being the little losers. But I would love to move over to Red Tribe, of course, because we after the aftermath with Yellow, we get to see our guy
Seafood.
Seafood.
Shout out Seafood. Shout
Yes,
out.
shout out to him. He's been showing us a little bit of love.
Mhm.
So we're rooting for you, Sifu. And I just love the energy that he was on. It seems like he's making, he's just having fun
Mhm.
hopping,
Mhm.
and soaking up every moment and, making inroads, I think, even from a social perspective with his tribe, even though, we'll never know how everybody lands until they go to tribal council. People can
Mhm.
talk the
Mhm.
talk. But I just loved how the Red Tribe seemed to have this vibe of
Yeah,
silliness
he
about.
doing Tai Chi. He hitting trees. I'm like, okay. See, he's giving Coach a little bit, not in like
Yeah,
the antics, but like the that's
all
giving
of
Coach.
the yeah,
Yeah.
he's also reminds me of Davy a bit too from
Oh
David and
yes,
Goliath. Yes.
Davey's a good one. Actually, Davey's one of my favorite Survivor players.
Love Davy.
Yeah.
He's such a sweetheart. So, um, yeah, no, Sifu was definitely feeling, and then we had this moment between Austin and why did I say is it
Austin and wait, no. Are you about to say when it's like the JT Steven moment?
yeah, but that was a little later.
It
It
was
was
later.
it was I
I
have
think
like
this is Red Tribe. There was a girl, the singer songwriter girl. Is she Red Tribe?
yes, that's that tribe as well.
Yeah, when she was, what was she looking for? An idol or something? Or she figured
Yes, the
Austin
code,
has the code to decipher, and she
code.
figured that there's a code in the flag
Yes,
thing. Honestly,
yes,
she got put on my radar a little bit. I didn't remember too much about her from the first episode, but I think that was an interesting moment they decided to highlight.
yes,
And she was really so focused and serious about it. So I was like, she's intriguing to
yes.
me. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but interesting.
I don't know either. No, her stage name is J Maya.
Hmm.
Her name is Janani, I think is how you say it. But she this is where Austin was like Janani was talking about, oh, this has to be cool. Like everybody again is talking
Hmm.
so openly about it, which I'm just assuming now this is a part of the new era. Everybody's super open. But Austin was holding his cards close to his chest and he's like, they don't even know that I have the
As he
first
should
part
have.
of the code. And I'm like, thank you. You're not doing it yet. But I was trying to see, it seemed like he was like, yeah, I only had 15-30 seconds to figure out like
He
what
figured it out, didn't he?
yes, he
Yeah.
figured out like how to get to the space. And then I mean this is later on, but he does he I think he finds it, right? I
I
think so.
think so.
Or is
I
it
think everybody I think everybody deciphered the code, didn't they?
I think
That
everybody's
found it?
maybe Sabaya's the only
That
one.
we've seen find it. But I'm assuming that's because that's the tribe that went to tribal, and it's ironic because they don't have fire.
Yes, super ironic because
Um,
but wait, I want to just look up and see, did he wind up getting the beware advantage? Um, because I kind of feel like he did. Yes, I think he did. He did find the beware advantage. Oh man, it's
but he
advantage,
found the idol. I mean, he found the idol.
right? So he did find.
I'm asking,
So he found the beware advantage, but did he find the idol?
I know he deciphered the code, but the code just tells you like where to go look. Remember?
We're gonna go look for it. So you're completely right. So yes, and Austin had to complete a lot of tasks. She
I
was
think
able to
Austin found it when he has that moment where it's him and like the fish box.
yes,
Austin
but
and
then
JT and where is that? I literally wrote. I think what you're talking about. Where is it? I said Drew and Austin are like JT and Fishbox. So Drew
yes,
is who I think helped Austin figure out the thing. And I
Yeah.
literally was like, I was watching with my friend, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Drew and Austin are like JT and Fishbach." And then the episode said it. I made sure to write in my notes. I said this before the show said it, just to throw that out there. Just to make sure it's on the record.
Yes, so get it on the record. Get it down.
Um,
No, so I think that, like, so okay, confirmed he did get the idol. I
but
feel like
somebody else knows. Nobody has found the idol, and they're the only person that knows that
thank
we've seen so far.
no, and it's frustrating to me because it's like, one, I love that. One, okay, before we even get to like the why Austin said it, I thought it was very cool. Well, see, I want to back up. So with the red tribe,
Hmm.
we're gonna just talk about the fact that, everybody had to go on this journey. Drew goes on this journey.
Hmm.
For some odd reason, they didn't show how they picked him, but Drew goes on this
Yeah,
journey. He decides to play the game. He wins. He comes back. He tells the full truth. I was like, interesting.
that's my winner pick. But at least he figured out the daggone puzzle.
Listen, and yes, good job in terms of your winner, because I thought that this elicited a response. See, I would have been playing it close to my chest, but this elicited the exact response he wanted, because of his honesty. Austin then felt inspired to
He,
tell
he
me
asked
this.
him to help him to do the thingy.
So I think that's very interesting. This is just, again, development. Survivor strategy is always developing, which is super interesting to me. And it's like, yeah, I think that it's awesome that, now they have this kind of ride or die mentality. And it seems as if too, they are not just a two, but a four. With they also are linked up not with Sifu, but with D and with
Oh, first of all, wait, I'm sorry, D. He the shorty who pulled the thing up with her foot.
the chip with the toes. Listen, this was if this was
I'm like, what is going on? They didn't have to put that in the episode, so why did they? What's going on?
no, I think it was
What's going on?
foreshadowing. I think it was foreshadowing. She might be making merch. She might be participating in the challenge like
Foreshadowing
that.
what though?
You know
Strength? Like
how
what is it?
sometimes
Pulling
they
somebody
have
out of sleep?
foot game. I'm not gonna show my foot on TV. You know
You're right. You're right. They do foot stuff. Oh, you're so
so
right.
could be
You're so right.
foreshadowing for the future, but I
You're
just
so right.
love that scene of them with the red tribe of just being like so happy, so fun.
That was nuts. I'm sorry. The foot thing was crazy. I'm like, what's happening? On
No,
another side note, for everybody, every single person I saw get a confessional, they knees, elbows is effed.
no, it's
What's happening out there?
crazy.
Was it the mud challenge? They are screwed. If you go back and look at everybody's knees, they all got scrapes, scabs. I'm like,
I
golly.
didn't even know that. I gotta go back and look back. But Survivor is hard. Hannah and Brandon, your first two boots of Survivor 45 will tell you how hard it is. Okay, because the fact, yes, I mean, remember when Taj and Token Sheets had, had all those bug
Yeah.
bites? That will always
But
be
remember, Taj never quit. That's also one of my
never.
favorites. She's one of my. I wish she would return. I know she never will with that fine husband Eddie George, but girl, I wish she would return. She probably out on tour somewhere with SWV. But shout out to
Oh
her.
my
She's actually one of my favorite players ever too.
She is. So no, so Survivor's Heart, that's really crazy. But to the point of Drew and Austin, I do love that they, are together, they are two, and then they're part of this four of D and Julie. And I would love for you to like how do you feel about Julie's game and like being the mother of the tribe
I
and
don't know
having
if that's going to work for her. Well, I don't have any notes specific to Julie. I don't think so. That's a data point. But outside of that, from what she's the lady who went to law school late, right?
yes, and she looks at am I calling him
Oh yeah,
his
she
name
called somebody her kid, right?
Drew, I think. Am I right?
I
His name
think you
is
are
Drew.
right. Okay, I do remember that.
I do too,
I
but I just want to make sure yeah, his name is Drew. Yes.
I get what she's doing because typically the mother character person is not seen as a threat, and they can make it far. I think Heidi, who we've remembered name last week,
Yep.
Heidi was probably seen as a mother figure.
Oh yeah.
Heather, the one we was just talking
Heather.
about, Erica, she was a mother figure.
Yep.
People love Tiffany from season 41. She did not make it to final, but people love Tiffany. So
Love.
the mothers make it far.
Yes.
So she might be onto something.
Yeah. I think
But
so.
the mothers don't win.
Win.
And
They
that's the
don't.
issue.
Notoriously.
Yeah. That's the
Notoriously.
issue. The
Yeah.
mothers don't win. And so
Mm.
that's what she's gonna have to figure out is how do you stop being mom and how do you start being someone that's actually a contender? But if she's
You
okay
know,
with just making it to second, third place, then maybe that's fine.
technically, and you're right, it could be second, third place because unfortunately, Carolyn, I think she was also kind of seen as that mother figure as well.
Carolyn was
And
at least wackier too. I think
yes,
out of Carolyn and
oh yeah,
Heidi was seen as the mom before Carolyn because Carolyn was
absolutely,
kind of cooler and wacky, and even though
yeah,
she's probably the same age as Heidi or whatever. And that's what
yes.
is there another older woman?
No, like not really
There's no
in
other
this
older people. Period.
season.
Julie's probably the oldest one out there, right?
She's giving Gabler, yeah, she's giving like she's the one
See,
of old
Gabler
lady.
won, but he was
Give
also
Gabler.
kooky. I think if you're older, you got to have something else to you.
You
Being
gotta have a
the
little
mom is not
zhuzh.
going to get you win.
No, 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 no. And you gotta have a little kook. But I bring up Carolyn because I think that the dynamic that Carolyn and Carson have,
Mm. With
Carson,
Drew, so this see,
Drew is playing a smart your winner pick
I'm
is
trying to tell
playing
you.
a smart game because Drew, he understands like how multifaceted he is and how he shows up to other people. I think that Survivor 301 strategy because and this shout out to Peridium on YouTube. He goes through this video. I'll try to see if I can find it for
Mhm,
the description. But he has a great video that talks about different levels of Survivor strategy. First one, if I can remember it correctly, is how you feel about other people. Second is
mm,
how do people feel about you? And
mm,
do you recognize it? And then
mm,
third is like, how are you making other people feel about you and how
mhm,
they show up, like how you show up to them. Then there's
mhm.
a fourth level that I can't even begin to describe, but I
Wow.
do think that Drew is on that third level,
Mhm,
which is making sure that he can show up as the broy guy to Austin, but the son character to Julie. And it's like
mhm,
this is great, Drew.
I
And I
like that, I
do
like that. Emily is on level 1. She only can think about how she feels about others, and
yeah.
that's gonna be her hang up.
Oh my goodness. We will get to Emily in
Yeah.
her
Well,
evolution.
we gotta get
But
to Blue Tribe because
we have
Bruce and Katurah, the blacks were having at it, baby. Wow.
which
We
again,
haven't seen something like this since Natalie and Carl. No, Natalie and remember the other dude?
yes,
I
his name
think
is
that's
like
David versus Goliath. The
yeah, it was
old
it was David versus Goliath. I think his name was Jonathan.
Jonathan. We ain't seen the parties fight like this. And it's
It's
almost
so
the same setup
funny,
except the sexes are flipped. Baby.
bro.
The Katurah monologue about Bruce is one of the best things I've seen in a long
It's
time.
freaking funny. She
And it
was
came
saying
out of nowhere. Literally, so it starts like this. So okay. We went from the red tribe to blue, and I literally have Bruce, please, all caps. What's going
yes.
on? I don't even know what this is about. But then the next thing I have is a quote from Katurah. Quote, every 5 minutes, Bruce is explaining you something. That's how it started. So she didn't even start her monologue yet. That was not the monologue. That was just a clip. They did a short clip. She said, every 5 minutes he explained you something. Then we see him explaining. Then they come back. She ranted for about 2 minutes. I'm like, I felt Katurah. She had to get that off her chest, baby. It was wearing her down. Like you could really tell she felt heavy about how she felt about him, and what she and something she might be on. I don't know how she's being received. But
Yeah, she's on
I hope
2. She's
I
on
hope
2.
she's on level 3 though, because I have a feeling that other people don't know these feelings she has about Bruce.
No,
I
but
have a feeling.
I think that she's able to control her feelings about Bruce,
But
but
this
I
is what
don't
she
think
thinks in her
that
head.
but in her head she thinks so, but I don't think that she is realizing that Bruce is his own person and he will pick up on vibes that you're not trying to work with him. And you can see now that there's this little for I mean she's not in the middle. She's not like in the middle, and that's not where you want to be. You're on a side. You want to be in the middle. We have a little cute boy. What's his name?
Brando? Is it
Brando.
Brando? Brando is
Brando.
so cute. I literally have Brando as cute.
I love him. And I think he knows that too. Like, like that he can ingratiate himself that way. I love his charm and his charisma. But we have Brando and then we have Kelly. It's so hard for me to remember that girl's name.
Kelly. Did we see
That's
her
her name.
last episode? I literally wrote, I've never seen this woman in my life.
We saw her
I liked her.
commenting
I
on
liked her when
Kendra.
I saw her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She was commenting on Kendra, and then her Kendra and Katura, they're also all K's. That's cute as hell too.
Yeah.
They made that women's alliance and now they
Oh,
have
Kelly
Brando.
was the other person.
Say it again?
Kelly was the other person in that
Kelly
room,
was the other person, yes. And so
right? Oh.
now it's like them and Brando, but Kelly and Brando, because they are, you have to keep your options open. They're keeping their options open. They're not talking to Bruce about strategy. They're not talking to
I
lawyer
don't know.
Jake about strategy, you know?
I just wonder, like, okay, I get that maybe Couture's clearly on a side, which yes, that's not great, but I just wonder if Bruce feels how she feels about him. That's what I would really be interested
Yes, I
in
think
learning.
so.
But Bruce is so like, I'm not gonna what was interesting to me that Couture said is we saw how frustrated she was with him and how annoyed he is. And we saw him being annoying when he was on the boat doing all this and that. I'm like, you a grown man, dude. Just ride away.
Right.
But what I found interesting is she was like, everybody's eating it up. Like, why can't they see through it? I
I don't
think
know.
everybody else is aware. I think they're placating him. Like I think
Yes.
they're
Oh,
eating into it
yes.
because I think they know it's not a good look for him to be doing all this extra stuff.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Like, I think that they're able to take their annoyance out of it a little bit easier than Katura is able to, and instead see him as a number. Like, we
Yeah.
have not gone to tribal council yet. So I'm gonna again keep all my options open. You can talk all day long about all the things. You can try to tell me everything that you want to tell me about you. But at the end of the day, as long as you vote with me, I don't care. Katura, she
Yeah.
cares. You could tell, like, you were so right.
He
It
can't
was
take it. And I feel her though. Suffering fools is not easy. I understand. I cannot do it. And what I think is what worries me though is if we go back to Natalie and if his name was Jonathan, in my head, Jonathan was right in that scenario between them. But Jonathan is who went home first.
Jeremy. His name is
Jeremy,
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Okay, Jeremy is who went home first. And that is not good because in this scenario, Katura is Jeremy. And I
He
don't want
is
that. And so
my winner
I don't
pick.
know how to reel her. I don't know if she's going to reel it in, or maybe everybody doesn't like Bruce and he's an easy send home. But in my head, if you keep Bruce till you get to merge, he's an easy merge vote. Do you want
Oh
him in the
yeah.
jury? I don't know. We don't know enough yet. But I think people would be willing to keep him around
Oh
because
yeah.
everybody else, he's an easy vote out.
The thing that Bruce has that Natalie didn't is strength. Okay. And
Yeah.
he also, I mean, what they do both have is that they're an easy target to take out at any time. But Kelly said it. Kelly was like, I really came into this game feeling like I could hang out with the girls, but also be bro down with the boys. And I like that about me because I do value strength on the tribe. Sorry, not sorry. I would probably choose strength over a woman's
And that's
alliance,
not good.
even though I
That's not
want
good
to
for
keep
Couture.
the woman's
So that
alliance.
means they got to keep winning. I think if they don't go to tribal, they're probably pretty okay.
Yeah, Couture is okay for sure.
Yeah, but if they do go to tribal,
I
I
don't
think
know about
that
Couture.
beef could blow up and backfire on Couture. So that
I
is a
completely
worry for me. I
that
don't
I
know.
You're so right, and I think that she would be target number 1 because I could see her also making another Survivor 101 mistake and being the first to throw out his name. It's like,
Yep,
just don't
literally.
let your annoyance be blind you, because I think outside of that, she's actually playing a very good game,
I
so
agree.
I
But
just hope
you hungry, you cold or hot, you tired, you stop. It's easily you're gonna be easily irritated. But like, I hope, I hope next episode we see her like come to peace with it a little bit more.
yeah, me too, and maybe even uh, I feel like if I were out there, and I'm learning now, I'm learning all the time from these survivors, but it's like whoever annoys me the most, let me try to make inroads with them the best. Like, let me force
That's
myself. Like,
real.
this has to be my like goal every day. Like, if I wake up just mad at this person, I need to like find something to connect with this person on,
Killing the
because
kindness, basically.
exactly. And at least my anger will decrease because at least I see a use in this alliance in some sort of way, like, I don't know. I think that that could potentially be
That's a good theory.
the
That's a
better
good
way to
theory.
go. So
I'm gonna try that at work.
girl, girl.
Good theory.
So we look, I literally said D's toes, but we talked about Blue, we talked about Bruce versus Katura, and so this was about around the point that we get to go on the journey, and
And yeah, literally, I have Brandon, Brandon, Brandon. Damn.
oh my goodness.
So you do matching! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! A puzzle? Question mark! Question mark! Question mark! What's going on?
Yes, it was wild, but before we even got to the puzzles and before we even actually got to the journey, I thought it was interesting how these tribes were all choosing to pick who gets to go, and
Mhm.
I thought it was interesting who actually manipulated it so that it was them. I
Somebody did rock, paper, scissors.
Yes, I think that was because it was Bruce who went, and Katura was so upset at that. Then it was
I agree, though. I do think out of everybody, but they're who did the rock, paper, scissors, Katerm and Bruce.
that
Yeah.
was it, and then, we did get to see how Drew got picked, so actually nobody manipulated their way in,
Mhm.
but Brandon was picked over Emily, and Emily was mad, okay? Like,
Yeah.
I did like that Emily was trying to fight, like, she was like, I do think that this could be my opportunity. And I think that's how she should have been standing up for herself. But the rest of the tribe saw right through it. And yeah, Brandon got to go. So we get to the actual journey itself where the three meet with each other. And we see that Brandon and Bruce take different approaches to how they choose to bond cross tribe. And whenever I see these cross tribe bonding moments, I always have, Token is just getting the highlight of this,
It's a
recap.
great season. I don't think people talk about it enough. But ain't
It's
that's JT and Fishbox season, ain't it? Had Taj. Like it's a great cast on. That's a top
it's
10 season.
it's a foundational season, and if you have never watched Survivor before, you're literally just only watching these recaps, please know that Survivor 18 is such a great way to introduce yourself because there are still things that happen in that season that are relevant to today. And one of those things are these cross-tribe moments, kind of in an exiled sort
Mhm.
environment.
Mhm.
What did you think about how each person handled that?
So who was sharing?
It
So
was,
you're right about everybody sharing all this information.
yeah,
And I think so. Here's a theory of mine that I use at work, right? Which it be Survivor sometimes at work.
it does,
I
yeah,
got early advice early on in my career. I think my auntie told me that. So you know how you be at work, your coworkers want to know all your personal business, da 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 da. Babe, I'm here to pick up my check, go home. I might hit a happy hour every now and then.
right,
So my aunt was like, pick something personal to you, and that's the only thing personal you talk about. So for
wow,
me, I talk about my dog. Anything
yes.
you want to know about my dog, if he had a vet appointment, like I'm gonna give you all the tea about Ziggy. That is
Yes.
my heart, and it's true though, and it's real. And the thing is, you have to pick something real that is,
Yes.
but you have
Yes.
to decide to box it. You have to have a box
It'll
around what you're deciding is true and what you're gonna share. So anything
yes.
about my dog, I'll tell you. If you start asking about my mama, my daddy, my love life, my this, my that, I don't have too many answers for you.
Right.
Respectfully, I don't have too many answers for you. That's why my dog you can know everything. And I think these people they got to figure out a balance because it's
Yeah.
either they're telling everything or they're telling nothing, and both ways are suspicious.
They are.
Both
Who
ways.
I think has figured out that balance is your winner pick, Drew. And he tells certain things to certain people. I one pause, love that as a strategy because then you can choose again agency how you show up to people because brandon was doing he was the version of I'ma tell everything.
And now he's gone, and all these people know all this stuff, and it's never going to serve him. It's
No,
only
never
going
gonna serve him
to
or them.
benefit us.
It's wild. And then Bruce was doing the other thing where it's like, oh, I'm not telling you a thing because that's how I play this game. It's like now you just look sus. Now you just look like you're
And he
untrustworthy.
missed an opportunity to create an ally.
Thank you. So I just think that like, Drew, nothing's gonna come out of that because I think Drew gravitated more towards Brandon because he saw him as an information like
Hmm.
holder, but now Brandon's gone.
Hmm.
And Bruce just came off looking sus. But I do agree with you, and I think that's such a key thing to take note of. What I think like one of the hardest things, especially dealing with, hunger, coldness, lack
Hmm.
of sleep, that's going to be hard for anybody to do is to keep tabs of who you're telling what. But I think if you can get themes going of like, hey, I'm always going to connect with this person about my
Yes. Yes. Yes.
or I'm
Yes.
always gonna connect with this person about, oh my gosh, why is that other person doing this? Whatever
Hmm.
it is, you're gonna connect with somebody about something, but not everything.
Hmm.
I love that. I love
Hmm.
that.
Yep.
So,
So, yeah.
so there's that. But then they all go off and decide to do this game, and we have Bruce deciding not to do it at all, and then we have Drew and Brandon deciding to actually play. What did you think about Bruce's decision?
I was gonna say what it tells me about Bruce deciding not to play is he must not think he's an intellectual guy. That's worrisome.
True.
He must think he's not a puzzle guy. It's worrisome to me because like he might be strong, but that means if he does make it to merge, he may or may not be able to last in these. Which I mean is going to be a him problem. Like he must not be a puzzle guy. That is not. I don't like it. I don't know. That was a data point to me.
Yeah,
Data
it,
point.
it, it was interesting. Like, I just, and maybe I'm just super impulsive, but like, I just don't see where and why I would not play. Like, it's like, just try. Like, like, I do respect
You can
Brandon.
only lose your vote for one vote. It's not like until you find X, you lose it.
Thank you.
You have a time box on when you're going to lose it or how long it'll be.
Exactly. And we have seen in the past players who have strong tribes like Bruce does. I don't really see Blue go it would take a miracle for Blue to go to tribal council before Lulu does.
But see, I wonder if, let's say Blue never loses, Bruce does this, he loses the thing. Does that mean at the first vote at merge, he has no vote? And
Yes,
that would be crappy.
it would be, but in a sense, we have been proven if you go back to actually Survivor 42, where Marianne won, um,
Hmm.
um, oh, I'm so sorry to forget his name. The guy who loves birds, who was running up that
Omar. Omar.
Omar.
Hmm.
Omar did not have, and he's not the first, I think he was the first one, but we've seen this a couple of times since then. Omar
Hmm.
did not have his vote at the first merge for whatever reason,
I
but
don't remember that.
he was able to stay on a line of crossfire. He was upfront about it. He was like, y'all, I don't got a vote, so you can't be mad at me. I could be a part of these plans because I don't have a vote. It was actually serving him, and it served a
Mm.
couple of people since that they did not have their vote at the first merge. So now the new thing around, the Survivor fan strategy community is like, maybe it's not so bad to not have your vote at the first merge.
Bad idea.
It's,
I think it's a bad idea, but I get where they're going with it. I
you
get
know,
what they're trying to say.
I think it's a big risk though, because you
Yes.
can see now what happens when you don't have a vote at these early stage tribal councils, because that vote means way more than it does at the merge. At these early tribal councils, you can
Yeah, true.
see.
Because you have that small tribe and stuff too.
Thank you. Like,
That's true.
Brandon didn't have a freaking vote. So it's like, for we talked about every other reason to vote Brandon out, but the fact that he did not have a vote,
I agree.
how can you even get Emily out? Now that is how many? I think it would have been
It was
two
only two
to
votes,
one.
only Sean and
It was
Caleb
three. Three
and
people, three
Emily.
people voted. Three people voted, but it would have been 2-1. And
Yeah,
it's like, that's that, because Caleb actually, you know what? What would have potentially happened? It would have been 2-1, but I really do think that Caleb would have voted with Emily to
me
get
too.
Brandon out
Me too.
anyway.
Because Caleb's the one that got to pull all the weight.
So yeah,
Without
either
question. And
way.
I think all three of them voted Brandon out.
Oh, they did, but I just like, even if, like, I'm saying, like, even if Brandon did have a vote, I
Mm.
do think that, like, Caleb still would have sided with Emily
So
to
you
keep.
think it could have like if everybody had their vote then in Lulu, you think maybe Sabai and Brandon are voting Emily and all the other three are voting Brandon? Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
yes, and, like, and I do think that, like, if everybody had their vote, it could have been a chance for Brandon to potentially stay, because Sabaya, if she had a vote, she would have swayed. Her and Brandon would have paired their 2 votes with Sean would have been in the middle. Sean would have had to decide. He would have been in the middle, but Brandon could have had a fighting chance. So I don't know.
if
It's
you
just like,
lose your vote, can you do a shot in the dark?
no, you can't. You can't.
Who gave
So
their shot in the dark?
Emily,
Did I
we gotta talk about, okay, so before we get to this, because I have thoughts about that. Before we get to that,
uh-huh.
any other last thoughts about the journey before we get to the immunity challenge?
About who?
Oh, about the journey itself.
About who?
The journey, like,
Not really, no. Like honestly, if they want to keep doing these offsides, like they should not to keep bringing up token teams, but like they should do a real like exile.
I
I would prefer
agree.
that over like, but I guess they can't really because it's such short period of time. But
That's
like,
fair.
I
That's
don't
fair.
know. Or they could even do how like people go away. Well, they used to do like people go away, but then it's like a feast of food and da da da. Like
Uh,
throw something in there. You know what I mean? Throw
don't,
something in there.
get fun of the front with it. But we go
Yeah.
to immunity. We go to the immunity challenge, bro. I have it all caps. The way Kendra fell on
Boy, baby, I said Kendra's fall. Yikes. Then I said, Kendra, boo, you okay? Laying out. Did you see her out there? She was just laying, dead body. Just
I would have been laying like that after my crotch got hit in that manner. Oh my gosh, that was so sad to see. Oh my lord. But yes, we have Kendra, fallen. And listen, Lulu was in there. Lulu was actually
and then they got to the puzzle. And then they got to the puzzle. And that would have been my last straw if I was on it. I already would have been past my last straw, but I might have actually had to curse him out because somebody got to tell him. Somebody got to get. He must
Sabaya
have
was
never,
telling him, like,
he must have never like played a sport or done anything like truly competitive. Like somebody needed to curse him out.
kick it into gear. With the
Literally,
gear.
let's get it together. There's no time for crying. There's no time for whining. Just do the thing. Just do the thing.
Bro, what was telling to me was when Sean was like, you have to have the branches look like they can't be sticking out. He was like, no, no, it's like, and then Sean and Emily look at each other like,
Not to
what?
mention this puzzle they've done for the last 5 seasons. We've seen them complete this puzzle 20 out of 45 times.
It's the
It's a
same
classic
damn
puzzle.
puzzle. It's the same puzzle. It's the same. This is actually, you know what? Because don't do me wrong. A slide puzzle, that scares me. I need to practice slide puzzles. This is like an actual real puzzle. Like, this is not like,
That they have repeated for at least 5 seasons almost in a row.
I'm
At
just
least.
like, do y'all have to figure out some sort of method to your madness where you're going to start to get the outside pieces and put those to the side so that now you only have the inside piece. Something. Have you never
I
seen
can
a
go on
puzzle
Etsy right now and buy that puzzle
before?
and practice that puzzle. And if I found out tomorrow I was going to Fiji to play Survivor, do you know what I would do? Especially if I was not a physical person, I
Puzzle
would
it.
buy the puzzle.
Yes,
So I am not understand.
I don't.
Even if you don't buy the puzzle, if you have watched the 45 seasons of
Yes.
Survivor, you should have and given. I know you're tired. I know you're hungry. Your brain ain't work, and that's a part of it, right? You can have all this prep. You get out there, you starve, and your body wasn't in these conditions. I think that's. But babe, it's day 2, day 3. You
Yeah.
should not be that depleted that your brain is not functioning enough at this early stage. It should not be.
You're so correct because we've seen survivors say that the real exhaustion truly comes after the first week or week and a half of being out there. We have not hit a week and a half yet. Like, this is a glorified, like, weekend vacation at this point. So it's like, I just didn't understand again. If Brandon is a super fan, like the most passionate, I think we have to start categorizing what superfan means. He is definitely one of the most passionate people I have seen out there about Survivor, almost reaching the levels of like an Eric Reckenbach, like, and just geeking out for fans versus favorites. Eric, who Sally
Who
Angel.
gave his eye? Who gave the necklace?
Yes, yes,
Stop
like
it.
he
Well, that was stupid. This is I don't know what you call this, but you know what? Honestly, I can see that. I can see that.
just being so caught up, and like, it's Jeff over there, like that sort of energy, like he's geeking out. But it's like, I'm gonna need you to hold it in. And just have you not done any sort of puzzle before? Like, and Sabaya wasn't really doing as much either. I felt like she was spending too much time yelling at Brandon versus actually doing the puzzle. Because I have seen, I'm sure you've seen it before too. Sometimes one person the puzzle, you just tell the other person,
Yeah,
step
get
off that.
away. But see, now hold on a minute. Now remember how I had criticism of Sabaya in the last immunity challenge, and what, and so I was talking to somebody about last episode, and I was being hard on her immunity challenge performance, and
Yeah.
they were telling me that she was throwing it. Number one, I think that's stupid. No
Yeah.
matter what way you split it, and I also
Yeah.
don't believe it. So
No.
let's go fast forward to this past immunity challenge. Okay, she was on puzzle, right? She didn't do anything else.
No.
She's one of the most physical people they got. So why wasn't she doing the physical stuff? That's number one. No, I got more. That was number one. Number two, okay, we do know Brandon said he was supposed to be good at puzzles, so that makes sense. But like I'm confused about Sabaya's physicality because
Oh,
she was able to find it for the sweat v savvy, but I'm like, did that take all your energy? Are you depleted? They don't have no fire, nothing, no food. But like she's not performing in these immunity challenge the way I would have expected, which is
not
worrying me.
it's so worrying to me. Not all, and I believe that they put Sabaya and Brandon on the puzzle simply because they did not think that they could perform as well with the jumping off,
Exactly. But
climbing.
Sabaya should I what I don't get is why you would think I mean, if you base it off of last immunity challenge, I see why you say that. But like to me, it should have been Emily and Brandon on the puzzle.
Oh my gosh, that would have been you. I think that Emily would have rocked that. And now she will have the chance because now it's only four of them. She will have the chance to do like be able to step up in that way. But I do think that like Sabaya is she's not showing because it's not even just at the immunity challenges. Like Sis is not able to climb up a tree in the same way that Caleb is. Like, she is not as she's giving, in a sense, a little bit like from Gabon. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Who was like good hope? It's like good night. So I forgot what she said. I
I'm
gotta
trying
look
to
up
think.
Krystal. Did you ever see Gabon?
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the shorty who in that she was an Olympian? You talking about that girl? Yes, Krystal. Yes, and that's another thing. Like these people who you're expecting to be, she ran track. I think she won like literally at least a bronze medal in the Olympics, if not gold. And
Yes.
I remember in a challenge where we had to hold up the thing, and she was the first one out. Boom, drop.
She was the first one out of so many of them. It's
What's
Sabaya
going
trying to give
on?
you that
But this
energy.
is the thing, I guess these people are retired. Sabaya drive a truck nowadays, so most of her day is spent sitting. She used to be a Marine. I mean, it's once a Marine, always a Marine. But she must have got out the service a little
A
minute ago.
while ago. No, you're
A little
right.
minute.
And
Because
I'm
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. I'm not either. And I think that she is a bit of a liability. The most like now that Brandon's gone, I do think that she's the
She's
next
the
up
least
in line.
physical. Which is
She's the least
crazy because you would have thought Emily okay, I hate to say I know everybody on that tribe is probably putting her last at puzzles at this point, right? She's probably not going to be called for puzzles. And if she cannot show us physically, I think if based on that, I'm voting her out first. Out of
no,
everybody that's left, she's going to be the next one to go. And
I
they're going to keep losing.
we are. No, they are. I think that we were primed this episode with her feeling like, yeah, I feel like I'm the leader of the tribe. Sis about to be going. And I hate it. I don't want to see her go. She's
Happy
one of
about
our
it. And I'm not going to lie, if I was on Lulu, it would be Delulu to not vote her out because the weak people got to go. Like, and what's really interesting is seeing the Sabaya versus Emily fight. It might be setting up Emily to be. Emily might be who Sabaya thinks she is, and that's really the gag of it all.
It is. No, because Emily has not underperformed at all in any of these challenges. If
She has these
anything,
better social interactions, but now that Caleb has kind of taken her in, we might see a better Emily. And her performance at Tribal, I think set her. I think it showed her in a really interesting light at her Tribal conversation.
yes. I am just up on Emily. I do think that the move that really has been the definer of the season so far is the shot in the dark move. And we let's talk about it. Like one, we've already talked about how strong it was that Caleb has now taken her under his wing, acting as protector, acting as a true leader. He gives me ENFJ vibes for my personality nerds out there. But like Emily has not turned her nose about it. She has
She's
had
happy about it. She's eh,
is
she's like, thank you. Someone has connected with me. I have a friend. She's gonna be loyal to Caleb to the end. Mark my words. She will not let Caleb go unless something crazy happens.
no, she won't. And I just absolutely loved I don't like seeing people cry, but seeing her get in touch with her emotions because again, Brittany Myers brings into this, she is a strong thinker. She is analytical. That is all she knows. She is out a fish out of water when it comes to feelings and emotions. And I think that some people, when it comes to love, when it comes to any point of life, think that thinking and analyzing is better than getting in touch with your emotions and the emotions of
Yeah.
others. That was the lesson that I think the first character arc that she has now completed, it was just such a wonderful thing to see. What did you
I didn't
think
have to say.
about?
I said, "Dang!" It's something about this cast though, because I'm like everybody's crying. Like I literally was like, "Emily crying, golly." However, I agree. I like that moment. I did like that moment, and like I'll probably be out there crying. I'll be crying all the time. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like to cry in front of people, so that would have been my issue. But
Yeah.
like, I get her, and I have thinker in my profile, right? But
Oh
I
yeah,
actually do find myself crying by myself a lot, but not
yeah.
with people. So it's an interesting thing.
It
Um,
is.
I think the Caleb Emily thing is going to go far.
I do too.
And I think Emily, if Sabai goes home next, I think Emily might actually be set up as the not the leader of the tribe, but I think she will be the one maybe best positioned.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
And
Sean.
so that would be interesting to see. That would be very interesting to witness.
It really will because we can see that Sean. I don't know much about Sean and like how he's positioning with either of those two, but I do know about Caleb and Emily, and I do know that Caleb gained Emily's trust and that Emily gained self-awareness to the point that she has been able to pivot her game and realize that to build trust, to build true strategy, you have to use emotions in that regard. And
And
that
you have to be vulnerable. You have to share a little bit. You got to pick something that's real to share with others so they feel like they're starting to get to know you.
she you know it still felt authentic, like you could see to your point about her. I know you're talking about you, but I think it was also with her. It is so hard for her to be truly emotional with people. You could see her, she would start to choke up, she would say something and like they would hug her and then she would redirect like, oh, the ocean looks really pretty right now. Like it is hard for her, so her doing those things I know meant a lot to them, to the point where when she actually gets to tribal, because she was doing that before immunity, to the point where she when she gets to tribal council, because you can't
Yep.
do that
Yep.
after you know you're going to go to tribal council because people are going to
Yep.
be like, oh, you're fake as fuck. But beforehand she pulls that move. What did you think about her handing her shot in the dark to her tribe mate?
I ain't going. It was kind of a badass move. I was like, you know what, Emily? Excuse my language, but she put her dick on the table and it worked out. You know what I mean? She really did. And where I'll give her credit at is um I think in the way they presented her in the first episode and maybe how she was is she was just misunderstood. Like the fact that at tribal she had to say like, believe it or not, I have friends in my life. I have people that love me, that care about me, XYZ. If I had to guess, this is what she's had to tell herself these last few days because she's felt alone. She's felt tired and she's felt like everybody was against her.
Yeah.
So as soon as Caleb gave that olive branch, I think it released a lot of like guard, tension, whatever. And she was able to take a step to being vulnerable. It was received well. And now I think she could keep going. But
Yes.
the tribal talk that it really showed me as well is think about it. She's an investment banker. In her world, she's probably cool and smart and
Oh
funny. Maybe
yeah.
she has a partner. She probably has lovely parents, maybe siblings.
Yes.
In her regular day-to-day life, she's probably like the top of the food chain, this person with these connections, like she doesn't feel misunderstood or awkward or
Right.
XYZ. She came
Right.
out to this island on this tribe with these people who she had nothing in common with. They talk about damn pyramids and conspiracy theories, and everybody's crying. That's not her. So I think this episode she's gotten past that like wall
Yeah.
and she's finally let it go. And I think now we can really see her start to play. So I think her giving her shot in the dark was like, you know what, baby, I'm here. I'm ready to play. I'm gonna stay. It is what it is. And so honestly, I'm kind of excited to see what Emily does now.
No, I am. It's so crazy to go from one end with her and now at another. I just these are the moments that again make it so worthwhile to watch this show because you can truly see people grow right in front of your eyes and like get out of their own way and actually do something. Like she was now pushed, she was forced to, and she stepped up to the challenge of making sure that she could get out of her game in a proper,
Yep.
sorry, to take her game to the next level in the best way that she could. And it's like you this push, this growth within yourself, made you do a career defining move that has never been done before. And anytime I love like shout out to Rahab, shout out to the know-it-alls. This time, this last episode, it was Marianne and Shannon Gus. Shout out to them because Shannon Gus really said it right, that whenever somebody does this move in the past, they have to think about Emily because
Mm,
she was the first one to do it. And I know that this is going to be used before. And I love that Shannon said this too. She said, she was like, listen, playing the shot in the dark, you only have a 1 in 6 chance. Giving that away, you
that's
increase
powerful.
your
Yep.
chances above 1 in 6. Like, come on,
Yeah.
of safety,
It
you
was a
know?
boss move because, to be quite frank, she was probably never going to play it.
No.
It kind of reminds me of when Mary Ann. A big thing at Mary Ann's final tribal was that she had an idol nobody knew about and that she never played. How did she
Yeah.
make that a move? And yet, I think that's what won her season.
It was.
And I
It
think
was.
Emily just had a moment. I do think Emily's giving away the shot in the dark was a moment like that.
It
So
was.
it's very interesting to see where it Emily, I have to say, I this episode changed my opinion about her. And what's interesting though is if we go back to last episode, how I said she had a lot of smoke for Black people.
Yes.
Think about it though, like she was probably in her most guarded and defensive self. So
Oh,
what is interesting is that when she's in that state, the thing she's attacking
yeah.
is Black folk. But you know,
Yeah.
now the Black man done reached out, and now she gung ho, and she done cried, and she done released, and she done
Yes.
community. It's no attack on her character XYZ. It's just the observation.
Absolutely.
But I what will really be interesting is how she might be different when she comes back into society. Like
Yeah.
obviously Survivor's a life changing experience for most
Yes.
people, but I think for her it really will have opened something up. What that is, I think the journey is still to be determined. But like I do think this
Yeah.
was a like foundational like change for her or like fundamental for her. I think so. I'm excited to see.
Absolutely. I think we talked about in the last conversation about that unconscious bias and how she's a poster child for it. I think she continues to be because Caleb challenged that unconscious bias. He went to her one on one. He literally did what we talked about last
Right,
episode.
but you said she hadn't been doing.
But she hadn't been doing, but now she sees he taught her the value in it, and now she was able to quickly adapt and showcase that same sort of trust and vulnerability to those two people
Yeah.
herself. And it's like that was I am proud. I am proud. And I think that it's like again, whenever we're having these conversations about race, it's never to shame, it's to observe and then to again highlight where you can go right in the sense of challenging your own opinions. And I'm not saying that she even like consciously was aware of her bias against these
I don't
people.
think so at all. I actually don't think so at all.
I think
I
so
think
at
she went
all.
into a very like old school state protective XYZ, and this is how it's presented itself. Now that the door has been cracked a little bit, I think it might be behind her. I
Oh
hope,
yeah,
right?
I think
But
so. I
it'll
think
be
so.
interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
We'll
Yeah,
see. But she makes this game changing move. We actually get to tribal council. And I was just like, Emily versus Brandon, smart for her to do the shot in the dark. But we see that when I knew that Brandon was going to lose was I mean I love the water boy joke, but whenever you see survivors start to zoom in and those people are getting their last words out there like I love this place, y'all need to like respect this place, this is everything. I'm like, oh Brandon, it's curtains for you,
I
boy.
had a couple of things. So I don't know when I said this, but I said one. Emily does still need to learn to keep some thoughts to herself. I don't know at what point I thought this, but something she's really, and I hope she learns it quickly, is I think she's like I kind of feel her though. Like I do struggle sometimes with like you how you said she sees something, say something.
Yes.
I spend a lot of time quiet around others because I know that my thoughts are not always meant to be heard. But I really do have an urge to be like, dang, like I really do have an urge to just boop, 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 throw them out, right?
Right.
So I have been on this conscious journey of like practicing silence.
True.
Emily needs to get on that journey as well because literally anything that comes to her head, she's saying it. Pop, pop, pop. I'm like, ooh, she got you know what I mean? Like some of
Yeah.
her unconscious bias, maybe we became aware of it so much because anything she thinks, she says out loud. I might
Yes.
think some stuff that obviously nobody else can hear, but I'm
Yeah.
not saying it out loud, so you don't know.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. No.
Um, The tribal is where I really was like, Sabaya might be next. Sabaya, I have Sabaya talking too cocky. Is she going to get blindsided? There was a point where I was like, is Sabaya going to get voted out? Because she was talking so crazy at the tribe. I don't remember what she was saying, but I have notes that's like she was being cocky.
Yeah. No, okay, I didn't have that note, but this was super random. I was like, "What is Sabaya's accent?"
I said that last episode. That's a note from the first episode, from the premiere. I looked it up. She's from somewhere in Georgia, and I
Okay.
think currently she lives in North Carolina.
Okay, because I
I
was
had to look it up because I said that last episode. I said, "What is this accent? It's interesting." I yeah, I spent a lot of time yesterday imitating it. Sorry, Sabaya, because it's got a draw to it that ain't. It's like I know Southern people, I know Midwestern people, I was like, it's got to be the Deep South, but
it
like
has to.
it's slow. It's giving Deep South 30 years ago.
Yes.
Well, it's not giving today. Does she
No.
slang?
I
Like, does she use phrases that we say today?
don't
You
know.
sound like somebody grandpa. Yeah, I mean, like,
It's giving Louisiana. It's giving
yeah, it's
something.
it's giving it's giving got a hog farm and you learn how to drive at 10. And yeah, I mean you got one stoplight in the town, y'all ride dirt bikes. Like it's giving like country. It's not southern, it's giving country.
Yes, no, it is, but I was just genuinely I even like rewound and okay, if Sabaya whatever episode that Sabaya does wind up going out, because I don't know, her days seem numbered to me. We have to imitate. We have to imitate her accent. Okay. So
I
I'm
was giving
giving
a
you
lot of time. I gotta watch it again, but because I would literally hear her say something, I would be like it's a crazy. I'm pretty good at imitating accents too,
yeah,
or imitating the way people speak. But it
yeah.
was I had to fix
You
my
have to
mouth for
practice
that.
a bit.
It's not something I've done before. I have to say this is a new one. This is a new
That's
one.
so
It's a new
funny.
one.
No,
Yeah.
the impressions are loading when it comes to Sabaya. You
I gotta
know,
practice.
no,
Um, but yeah,
the
she was talking cocky. Then I
yeah.
have something sixth grade teacher question mark Brandon. What was I don't know what that's about, but
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He was I don't know, but he did say something kind of out the wall there. I should have written it down too. But I just loved Jeff's story. He really put it in his place. He was
Oh
like,
wait, I said that was cold blooded the way Jeff said it's time to vote. He let them tell her. He said, and now it's time to. I was cold blooded.
oh, but
Cold
I
blooded.
literally wrote down in here, I was like, it's time to vote, smiley face, because I missed the tribal council like ritual. I was like, let's go. Oh, and we have to talk about the fact that like, okay, sorry to Brandon, but let's move into, just overall like, thoughts. But how would you feel about them bringing back the intro titles?
What was the intro title?
Like, "Eh, oh, yo, yo, yeah."
Oh, they did that.
They have not had that in years. I don't know how many
I do
years.
like that. I watched a lot of old seasons, so I be seeing. I didn't know. I guess I didn't pick up that they had stopped doing
They
it.
had stopped it, and, like, you don't realize it until it's back, and it's like, I my boyfriend, he was sitting here, I was watching it, and he was in here. I fully stopped everything that I was doing to dance to the whole thing, like, I'm like, "Listen, this
That
is
makes
my
sense.
jam. I'm here for this, okay?" Like,
I don't. I didn't remember. But that's
yeah,
lit. I love that. We love
it was
OG
lit.
Survivor.
We
They bring
do,
back
we
a
do.
lot of those stuff. You said they bring back the auction. You said they got the thingy back.
Yeah,
Something
so
to point. So I have listened. I haven't listened to a podcast about this episode, but I
yeah,
have listened to a podcast about the premiere.
sure.
Something I learned from Rahab Up is there's a twist we haven't seen yet, and so maybe it's going to be out the whole season.
I don't know.
You haven't heard this? You haven't heard
I have
this?
I heard I have heard of this, but I just don't know what the twist is gonna
Yeah. So Kendra, so in the premiere, at least in that first vote, I think the winning tribe, the first place tribe, I think, got to pick somebody to go and to the losers camp. I want to say. I don't know
Ooh.
if it was their camp, but I do know that I do know that person. It was Kendra. She got to cast a vote at their tribal that would have counted, and I heard that vote was for Brandon, which doesn't make sense to me because if I'm on another
Yeah,
tribe, I would want Brandon to stay.
yeah, like,
Unless you're like worried about a merge happening, but that's stupid. But
no, that's
so
interesting.
I heard she didn't get to attend the tribal, I don't think, but I think She got to talk to that tribe, I assume at camp. I
Wow.
assume, how I remember it. She got to cast a vote that would have counted, but she didn't get to attend the tribal. That's
That's
that's how I think it occurs. And so I wonder if it's gonna run throughout and they're never gonna show any of it to us. Like, did it not pan out and they don't want to show? Or like I do wonder about
Oh, I wonder what it is, but like maybe they're gonna do something. Survivor likes to twist the audience where whenever it becomes relevant, that's when it's
that. Yeah,
going to
that's
like,
true.
be dropped. And it sucks because like yeah, she casted it for Brandon. Brandon went home this episode, so it loses kind of its value at this point. But I do think that it would suck if they don't bring it up at all, or if they don't bring it back. Even
But
for
I
this
wonder
show,
if it's happening every week.
I
Like,
don't know.
I wonder if another person did, if it could have been Kendra, or if another person had the same thing happen this week. Like, I wonder if another person cast a vote.
I don't know, but we will see. We'll keep our eyes and ears out for that twist to come in.
Hmm.
What were your thoughts though, Krystal? Like, what would you rate this episode out of 1 to 5?
1 to 5. Okay. Before I rate, I'll just say I do feel like I felt the 90 minutes this time.
Okay.
Maybe it was a long day at work, long week. I don't know, but I felt it. I said, "Wow." I was getting a little sleepy. Two, I feel like there was a lot of commercials this time. I didn't feel the commercials in the premiere. I felt the commercials because I watched it live. I felt the
Yeah,
commercials this time. And so what I don't like is it might make me start watching it after it's like loaded up and not
that's what
watching it.
I did. Yeah.
I felt the commercials. Those
Yeah.
are my big thoughts.
Okay. Okay.
On the rating, I really feel like this was a lack. It wasn't. It was exciting because it's Survivor, but like it wasn't like a wow.
Yeah.
Brandon went home, which he should have went home last episode.
Right.
Besides, the girl voted. The same tribe that was in the spot last week was there this week. I didn't feel like too much change. I think Emily's arc was different and all that kind of stuff. It's probably a strong three. Maybe it's probably like a strong 2.5 if I'm being nice, or 3 out of 5.
Listen, I don't disagree with you. Like, I will give this episode a rating of 3 as well because simply off the strength that I'm still hyped that Survivor is back. 2, I love the opening title sequences. I do love like getting to know these tribes a bit
Yeah.
more, but I did feel as if like as much as I do love camp life, like I kind of do want to see them doing a bit more, just a bit more like of something. Like,
Well,
I
because they don't have no food, no
know
fire and stuff. The people ain't cooking. They can't like they need to give them the stuff to actually participate in camp life. Like the people that got fishing supplies. I guess
yeah,
next episode we'll see them trying to fish and spear whatever, but they don't have anything to do with camp life because they don't have stuff.
they're just talking to each other. So it's like, when we'll get there, maybe I'll rate it a little bit higher. But I was just like, okay, we usually like, if we have 3 different tribes, we have 3 different storylines going on. And we kind of had that with the advantages, but pretty much everybody was just talking, getting to know each other outside of the Lulus that were like, dealing with the aftermath of their losing premiere episode. And so I don't know. To your point about the 90 minutes, I do love the more content, but and I was able to I waited to load it up so I could just skip right through those commercials. So I didn't feel it as much
Mm-mm.
the commercials, but I'll give it a 3 just off the strength that it's like I just want to see more. Like I want to see more. And I that doesn't mean that I need more like game mechanics, but I know the Podfather, he's a little bit against reward challenges. I'm actually for the reward
How's
challenges.
he
I
against the
like to
reward? Well, is it because of this shortened timeline he's against it? Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
And so it's like we don't want to eat up minutes with reward, but like now that we have 90 minutes, I'm kind of like, hey, I actually one of my favorite things is actually to see them eat. Like it makes me hungry when I see them eat. So it's like I'm not saying that they have to like, give them a feast, but
Their
can we give
rewards are great. Like, can we bring back? Remember when people used to win a car and stuff like? Can we bring back the
this?
OG stuff? In
Yes.
Australia, in Australia, there's a challenge where it's like somebody's going to like wins $100,000 off of like a reward challenge. Like they win a lottery for life type thing. Like, give us good rewards,
Yes.
good ones. That's the caveat.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that we get some more things, but I'll give it a 3 for now. It's hopefully even up from here. Episode 2, it's hard, to be as big as episode 1, but I'll definitely give it 3 stars, and you're clocking it at 2.5, right?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. And then any last predictions before we wrap up?
I think you're right that Sabaya's days may be numbered.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, hate to, because I'm rooting for it, but I do see what I see. I think Drew is showing a strong showing. Shout
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
Kelly. Kelly, when she popped up on the screen, I don't remember her from the premiere,
Yeah.
but something in her struck a chord in me. I don't know what that chord is,
Sure.
but I'm interested to see what she does where she goes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love that. I love all those predictions. For me, I think that Emily is definitely going to gain power, like you said, in the tribe now that Brandon is gone, and she's able to kind of prove her worth, whereas
Hmm.
Brandon was not able to. I do think I agree completely with you that Sabaya's days are numbered. I do believe that Brando is going to really pop out as a strategic maneuverer, because I already love the way, and when I say strategy, I also mean from a social standpoint, because the way that he's been able to ingratiate himself
Hmm.
is actually really, really great. So I think that he's going to do well in that regard. And then I as much as I love Sifu, I'm just not seeing him, really be in the
He's not
strategy
doing
side
nothing.
of things.
Yeah,
So it's like I worry that, but I do think that red and blue are pretty much like, I don't think that he's going to be, like, on the chopping block.
me
I
either.
I
I
don't
agree. I agree.
set that up, but I think that he's going to be able to maneuver out of that chopping block status. So we'll see whenever they actually do, in some form or way, lose to Lulu. We'll see. I don't know if they'll need.
I hope next week we do get to see a different tribe at tribal, but I just don't foresee it. But I hope that we do. I don't think it will happen, but I hope.
We might be in for a bat sing, or a what was Carolyn and Carson and Jam Jam. But we might be in for that.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is gonna be yellow.
Yeah,
It's just gonna be boring because seeing the same people go to tribal. Tribal is like a fun thing
yeah.
to witness. If it's the same tribe, we'll be like, we done seen y'all argue week after week.
We know what's gonna happen. So either way, oh my goodness, this was so much fun, Krystal. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining.
you. I'm just again trying to get my stripes. So
Both of us. And that really wraps up the recap of episode 2 of Survivor season 45. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on all things nerdy. We have so much out there for you all to really dig into. We're covering Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, Ahsoka, Star Wars. We have football content now on the podcast too. So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can know, and click that notification bell so you can never miss an update. And yeah, until next time, again, may the best nerd win.
yeah.
Bye.